Okay, so I think I'm live. I don't have a mic stand yet. I have one on order. Should be here tomorrow. I ordered through Amazon. It was like $9. Uh, but yeah, I wanted to go live tonight just to kind of you know mess with this. Give me a good excuse to mess with the new microphone that my wife bought me. And then I was gonna probably do some commentating. Talk about a short film that I did that I released last year. Um, and also, I wanted to test out the setup and everything. So while I'm live, a lot of you guys, I would love for you guys to tell me if you guys can hear things and um, just, if you guys want to ask questions, you guys can ask some questions. So right now I'm just doing a test run on some things here, and then once I get things going, if you guys can tell me how it sounds, if you guys can hear it, because last time I tried doing a recording earlier, and and as I listened back to it, I couldn't hear the actual audio from the video that I was playing from my short film. Uh, so you guys could let me know how the audio sounds like. That would help me out a lot. Um, Again, my wife just bought me a Shure mic. This is the I guess people would know this more as the Elvis Presley microphone. Um, I like to know it as the Ken Anderson microphone, just because he he used this a lot when he was doing his introductions as he was coming to the ring. So I've always wanted a mic like this. Um, for one, you could actually hold it like this, and sounds cool. Uh, but I like this thing. So I'm gonna do some test runs on some things here. I'm still not too familiar with using StreamYard. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this and also share audio. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to navigate through Clean Slate's website. So this is Clean Slate's website. This is the team that I'm with when we do short films and everything. So it's cleanslatesproductions.net. Um, so what I'm mainly gonna do is pretty much talk about the short film uh, that I filmed a few years ago. It's the first film that I wrote and direct. Um, I filmed it at the House of Truth. It's something that's really uh, very important to me, just because professional wrestling is something that is dear to my heart. So with my experience in pro wrestling, um, I wanted to kind of like share a little bit of you know the things that I went through in training, or some of the stories that I've heard, because everything that you see in the film isn't necessarily stuff that I've witnessed. It's just a lot of times it's like I've seen it, I've heard stories, and some of it's stuff that I've experienced, and some of it is stuff that I've learned to do and not to do. So before I even play, I just want to make sure the sound is is okay, just because um last time I tried just doing a pre-recording, and as I let's went back to the video, I couldn't hear any of the video. um so I just want to make sure that my setting is done right. uh like I said, if you guys can hear it, let me know. I already played it, so I mean I'll probably be using my phone to kind of like listen back to it just to make sure that that you can hear it correctly. uh I'm not gonna play too much of it here. Um, so if you can hear that, let me know. If you guys can't, or if you're, you know, I'll probably just listen to back to it on my phone here, if I can. Um, let's see here. It might echo back a little bit. Um, so I'm actually listening to it back to it right now. Uh, yeah, I can't even hear it. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. Um, let's see, screen share, share audio. Uh, Hopefully that works. Share. So let's see here. So I'm playing it now. Hopefully you can hear the music. I can hear it through my headphones, but I'm not sure if it's sharing through Streamyard. So I'll play a little 10 seconds of that, and then I'll probably go back to the live and see here. Might echo a bit, but I'm just testing out to make sure everything works out well. So it looks like it's playing. Um, yeah. So it looks like it's playing. So, um, but yeah. So what I wanted to do was pretty much, like I said, have a good reason to use this microphone. Just because, like I said, it's new and I've always wanted a microphone like this, and uh, I gotta make use of it. You know what I mean. Um, so I decided, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do tonight, and I decided, why don't I just commentate, kind of go over, my experience with filming Greenwell. Um, like filming Greenwell, it was a uh, life changing experience for me. I've learned a lot just directing and screenwriting. It's a side of me that I didn't think that I would ever get to do. Um, Chin, one of the founders of Green Slate Productions, wanted us to write our own film and uh, to direct our own films. That way we all get a share of the experience and kind of get ourselves out there. So uh, that means that so I did it. Originally, it, we the idea was to submit it into the so originally the idea was to submit into the road reel competition. um, Back when I originally did write this, it was only supposed to be like 3 minutes because the uh road competition was like a thing where it's like you submit your work for 3 minutes and you had to use road production stuff. So like a road mic, which I do have a road mic. It's in my bag. I haven't used it in quite a while. Uh, but yeah, excuse me. So I wanted to write something that I from my own personal um like something that I knew for off the hand of like an experience that I've had. And one of those things is professional wrestling, which a lot of you guys know. I was a part of for a little bit. Um, I went through a training. I've done matches. Um, and I didn't just want to do your typical I mean, if I had the budget, it would have been nice. I didn't have the budget to like rent out an arena, do any of that cool story stuff where you see someone go through the training and make his way up to becoming a champion or something like that. I don't have that luxury. I mean, I don't have that budget. Um, but at least I just wanted to go into the beginning stuff of that. So Greenwell's the word where I got that title was pretty much of anything when you're starting out something, when you are a rookie at something, you're considered green. Um, and obviously the will, that's like, yeah, I had the willpower um, to pretty much do the things that you do. Um, and so it's like, are you willing to put your body through all that training in a way? So that's where Greenwell comes from. Um, like I said, I like to thank Clean Slate Productions for helping me uh, make this happen. Um, Dal helped me a lot with the editing process. Cody helped me a lot with the shots and the scenes. Um, had some people chime in here and there to kind of like to help me out with what I should do here, what I should do there. Um, So I brought in a few. So with that, I brought in a few of some of the actors I brought in. I brought Josh Felix in. He has some acting experience under his belt, and also he is a vet in the world of professional wrestling. Um, and like as I was casting for the role of the trainer, um, originally, like, I had a few couple people in mind. I actually thought of possibly bringing my own trainer to play him. So the name of the trainer in here is actually Martin. I mean, you don't ever really hear him called Martin, but uh, it's just it's there to kind of like pay respects to my to my to my trainer, Truth Martini. Um, but yeah, so the name of the trainer here is Martin, and like I did have a little bit of an issue of trying to find someone um to play the role of Martin, um just because people weren't available, and then finally Josh was available, so I've asked Josh to help me out. In the role of Nick is someone who has helped us in previous clean slate films. So and he loves professional wrestling, so I thought maybe uh, help him gain another experience by being a part of Green Will. Um, and also kind of like help him with his little, probably possibly a lifelong dream of his to actually be in a professional wrestling ring. So so I had him come along, and uh he had fun. And then the other thing was I was trying to find some students or some people who were actually trained to take the bumps and to be a part of the film, because Nick is not a trained wrestler, and I didn't want him to get hurt in any way. um so that's where that's where Dickie Watts comes in. You can see Dickie Watts, or I know him as Jaden. Jaden came straight out of training, and as I've asked, the House of Truth if I can use some of the students that just recently got out of training to help me with the film, because I need some trained guys. I need people who can take bumps. Um, so so I brought Dickie Watson, and he was a blast. Uh, he was there. He's the guy who loves to pay his dues, who is still paying his dues. He's currently, he trained at the House of Truth. He's currently training at Skull and Bones Wrestling Academy. Um, but I love that guy. That guy came in. He got his ass beat. Pretty much stick bumping for us all day when we needed him. Um, and then I brought in Chris Moore. Chris Moore is the guy who retired me. He's one of my greatest friends on the road and professional wrestling. I needed a guy who to play the trainer, and Chris wanted to do some acting, so I brought him along. I brought him in, and he did a great job. Like I love Chris, and like I if I ever need anything, he's the guy that I ask, and he always pulls through for me. Uh, but I believe he really did a good job in here. But so I'm gonna play the short film, and I'm gonna pause here and there to kind of just go into some of the things that some of the stuff that we did, um, and just kind of like just go over the content. So let me know if you can hear. If you have any questions, I'll be answering those questions here. So a part of doing this is to help me, also to just kind of like, because I want to do better at speaking and doing this sort of stuff, doing this sort of content. Um, so I'm gonna hit play. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer questions. If I'm going too fast, tell me to slow down. I haven't I believe I have an issue of going too fast, and I do tend to slur my words and ramble a lot. So if I'm doing that, just tell me to slow down and get back on track. Uh, but yeah, so I'm gonna hit play. First, I gotta share the screen here. Um, Now, if you can't hear it, let me know. To get here, if you guys want to watch this on your own time, the website you can go to is cleanslateproductions.net, and you click film. There you will see all of the Clean Slate production film, as well as some music videos that we've done in the past. And if you guys ever need anything in the future, feel free to give Clean Slate an email or send us a message. send me a message, send Chen a message, send Dao a message, send Corey a message, send one of us a message, and we'll work something out with you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll hide this, and I'm going to hit play. It is a B-roll of the House of Truth. I have no idea whose boots those were. They were there, and they were good B-roll shots. And you see this wall right here is a wall of pictures of people who has come through the House of Truth, either have done some training or uh, who's came in and done some stuff, helped out with the school. Uh, we actually had to try to blur it out somehow, or we couldn't really show people. I was probably for legal reasons. I don't know what the rules are for that, but uh, yeah, this wall right, if I believe it could be bigger. I'm pretty sure there's more people that could be on this wall here, but yeah, this wall here, the House of Truth is one of in my opinion, I mean, it's the only school that I've ever been to, but it's one of the best schools in the Midwest. Uh, a lot of people has come and go and has made it going to the House of Truth. But yeah, uh, just want to like say that, let that out there.
Hey man, this is where training's at?
Yeah, you're a little early though. My name's Kevin.
Cool. So, are you the trainer?
No, I'm the assistant trainer.
Alright. Can I go get changed?
Yeah, come on in.
So this whole opening scene, it wasn't in the original script. Uh, the original script actually started out with what happens next with Martin kind of going through, what wrestling is, and what kind of giving the introduction of of the training. Uh, but we I was advised from Chin and the other guys. Look, we need a better opening than what we have. We can still have what we have, but we need to kind of establish this somehow. So we actually filmed this probably 6 months or more after we finished filming, and we didn't want to. Uh, we couldn't bring the whole crew back. So when we shot this, it was kind of actually I think I wrote this like within a few days before filming, or maybe a week before filming, and just kind of went with it. So we're actually got the idea of the opening shot was pretty much when we this none of this ever happened, and but then a lot of us students when I was training, we got to the school early, and we hung out, we talked, we were waiting for the trainer. Um, but this is to me, I feel like this is the easiest way I can have you know a not like one of the easiest way to have a smaller crew that get there was just me, Chris, Bart helped out with sound. That day we had actually a lot of during shooting when you're filming stuff, like there's gonna be a lot of technical issues, and we had mic issues when trying to film the sound for this. um but we made it work. We tried a few different things. We made it work. I think we had cable issues, the mic wasn't working. uh but we got all that figured out. But part of what I was trying to establish in the scene was who Nick is. And also, I wanted to give Chris more of some more speaking roles, since he was willing to come out twice to help us out with the film. But I really wanted to establish the kind of guy the character Chad was, kind of like the cocky, I think I already know it all, the kind of like you know to establish that he um just a real kind of jerk he could possibly be. Uh, when I first showed this to my boss, uh, he was just like, I don't like the guy. That's kind of what I was going for, because there are guys like this in pro wrestling, or who come into training thinking that they already know it. I'll kind of like give that who gives that attitude that rubs people the wrong way. So I wanted to kind of show, um, you know, I kind of wanted to show that side of some people. Um, Normally, in other stuff, you would tell someone to like, you know, get out to kind of just, you don't want to ever work with them. But during training, like this is pro wrestling. This is the beginning stages of your pro wrestling life. One of the things I love about the House of Truth is, they could have just told the guy to get out, but there's always a hope that, all right, maybe this guy's attitude can change. So that was one of the things that I wanted to try to establish as we were filming and as I was writing this. So, all right, so hit play.
All right, everyone, listen up. What I'm gonna need you to do is clear your minds, wipe the slate clean. I need you to take every single thing that it is that you thought you knew about professional wrestling and forget it right now.
So that whole dialogue right there, the whole part that there was um during the beginning of every class. That is actually the speech that Truth Martini gives us as we are learning, or as our first day of training. Uh, One of the first things he says is, "Hey, I need you guys to whatever you guys think you guys know, forget it." Uh, and I can tell you offhand that like when I was there, uh, sitting there hearing him make that speech, I thought I was smart. Um, I think a lot of guys think that they're smart because you read things on online, you watch wrestling your whole life. You think you already know the back end of wrestling, um, all that, you know, wipe it off your minds because, dude, when you're actually a part of wrestling, like life change. Um, because when you actually when you're actually part of that world, like you have a whole different perspective. Yeah, you know, the internet's there. You hear things about what's going on in the internet, um, on the behind the scenes stuff of professional wrestling. But when you're actually a part of wrestling, like things change. Um, in a way that one of the examples that they give us is I watch crime shows, right? Uh, and if I buy a badge and buy a gun, does that make me a cop? It doesn't make you a cop. It just means you watch a bunch of crime shows and you probably read a bunch of stuff. But that doesn't mean you're a cop, or I've watched a lot of ER or something. Does that make me a doctor? Just because I watch what they do doesn't mean you doesn't make you a doctor. It just means you've read some things, you watch some things, but you haven't gone through the training and the experience to actually give yourself that title. Um, but yeah, that's basically everything that the trainer in here said. It's legit what my trainer said to us when we first go in. So
Something funny there, big guy?
Look, old man, I've been watching wrestling my entire life. I think I know a thing or two.
Right, yeah. So you've watched some wrestling and you've learned some things online. So now you're an expert, right? You know what pro wrestling's all about? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Really? Well, why don't you just get in the ring? Why don't you show all of us what it is that you think you know?
Okay.
here I got this spot right here. This part of the when I wrote this, and I had a particular story in mind. Um, I've heard stories where my trainer has let people get in the ring, and because they come into school, they're like, "Look, I already know everything. Just um kind of like say I'm good, and let's just get to the good stuff and all that stuff." And so uh my trainer allowed. I mean, I've never seen it offhand, but I mean, I know of a guy who this has happened to. He's not working or anything, but um allowed him to get in the ring, and pretty much Martin was calling spots. The guy couldn't do anything. So uh, this is why I included this part in here, because it has happened at one point or another. Uh, the trainer has allowed people to to show what they know, and you can see here Chen with his facial expressions is pretty funny. Uh, yeah, uh, but yeah, this has happened from what I'm aware of. I've never seen it, but I I did want to include this in here and also give this film more of a story than I originally had it. So
Start the match. You know you may want to quit. Come on. So you're an expert in what? Come on. Come on. Come on. Tap out.
so with Nick not being trained, um, it was for me. I was trying to figure out some spots that we can do without him actually having to take a bump without hurting himself. So if you're, the best thing I can do is, pretty much what you saw. You know, uh, get kicked in the gut, uh, get put in a chokehold, stuff like that. Like that. That's all right. All right. He doesn't need to take a bump. He doesn't need to fall or anything. So, um, sorry, I got a burp. But yeah, uh, I was trying to find the safest way that I can film him in the ring without legit hurting himself. I had some other stuff like, you know, um, wrist lock, rolling, doing that, the lucha stuff, but uh, it would have taken more time to do than what we wanted. Uh, so I just decided, let's keep it simple. Uh, the throw a line duck, headlock, or I mean sleeper hold, tap out. That's basically it. So is I want to just find something that's the safest way to keep him safe so he doesn't hurt himself because he isn't trained. So,
How are you feeling there, Chad? That's all right. Nobody knows. Not at first. That's why we're all here, guys. And I'll tell you what, there's guys out there that aren't going to take it as easy as what just happened in the ring right here. So if anyone has any doubts, the door is right there.
so the line where he goes, where the trainer goes, "Hey, there's guys out there who won't take it as easy as what happened there." Uh, that's true. There are guys who, if you're gonna be an ass, make a fool of yourself, they're gonna legit shoot on you. They're gonna legit beat the crap out of you. Um, like I've been told stories where guys legit, like if you're acting up, you're probably gonna get booked, but you probably won't ever come back. And this stuff like this is like what you see in this scene is it's nothing. Like it's easy. It's uh I know. So actually, I've seen the videos where people really shot on people because of some personal stuff. Like uh and a lot of stuff I do feel that it's justified. Like I heard this one dude beat his wife, and so we heard some of the guys heard about that. So we had some guy legit shoot on the guy because he's a white beater. Stuff like that. You're acting up. If you're acting like a fool, um, you're gonna get shot on, and you know stuff like this happen. And if you're an idiot, like even if you're just being an idiot, like your etiquette backstage isn't you know if you're not showing any respect to anybody, you're probably gonna get your ass beat. Um, and anything that happens in training, like, look, if you're gonna screw up in training, doing training where we can where that attitude can be fixed, it's better to know that now than to learn the hard way. So that's why I included that line there.
No. What are you gonna do then? I want this. I need this. Let's get to work then. The first thing we're gonna talk about: how to wrestle. This is how you do a headlock. You have to look like a professional wrestler. Let's go! Bring him. All right, what's next? You're going to need to know how to talk, how to communicate, how to talk smack. Come on, let's go. Come on. And this is something that a lot of people say you can't learn, but I do believe that you can find it deep inside, and that's charisma.
So those four things that he was talking about, it's stuff. It's been ingrained in a lot of us. It's been told to us that if you want to try to make if you want to make it, you have to have at least some of those things. Know how to talk. I mean, you look at guys like CM Punk. That guy knows how to talk, which is why he got to where he was was at. The Rock is one of those guys who know how to talk. You gotta have that look. Those guys had a look. Like look at Hulk Hogan. He had that look, which is where he was, you know, at where he is at. He got charisma. What was the other thing that I was saying? Yeah, so you gotta have the look. Yeah, the charisma. You have to know how to talk, and you gotta know how to work. Oh wait, I already said that. I totally zone out there, but yeah, it's those four things are stuff that is what is looked for. When you are trying to make it out there. Um, Obviously, I didn't have most of that, but uh, that's a story for another time. Uh, but yeah, I wanted to include that just because I really felt that was important. Um, I had a lot of other stuff for that montage. Like I was actually trying to when it I I I I I had a lot of stuff, not a lot, but I had some stuff when it came to don't talking smack to each other because I had a lot when it came to them talking smack to each other, but uh camera was unfocused. It just didn't work out as well. uh you see Chad looking himself in the mirror. I had some stuff there, but uh we due to the way we had some technical issues causing us to not be able to use some of those shots and some of those dialogue. So I just cut them out, and we cut the montage the way that it was, because in film, you know you work with what you have, and it's not like I would have gone back to reshot everything, but they actually changed the way the school looks. That logo that you see in the back right now, it's no longer there. The walls are all, from what I've seen in pictures, are all red. So can't really do anything with that anymore, and the ropes aren't the same colors anymore, so we couldn't do any reshoots. uh, but yeah, those I really wanted to, one of the things that one of those things that in training that I really wanted to put in here, I added in there.
Big step over.
Come on. There you go. There you go. Up!
What are you doing? That's it? What, are you quitting?
That's one of my favorite parts in this film. I remember Cody asking me, like, when we're doing pre-production, he goes, "Hey, does like do we need that? Like, does that actually happen?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, um, you know, a story that's been told numerous times at the House of Truth was, I remember Truth telling us, uh, there was a kid who came in, paid all his money, and one of the things, one of the we warm up before we get in the ring. 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, 25 jumping jacks, 25 squats, just those things. The guy did one push-up and did it out of the school. So uh, I really wanted to like find a way to kind of to show that hey, people do quit for a lot of different reasons, and some are kind of dumb, and some you know are legit reasons, but it happens. People do quit like that. So yeah, so just I mean, it wasn't just added there for comedic effect. It happens. I mean, people quit just because they can't do a simple push up. Um, yeah, it's one of those things where like, what we actually got to work out for this. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't work out, which says a lot about me, but that's another reason why I probably didn't make it. I'm actually pretty happy. I didn't have to go find any actual legit sound effects for those chops. Those are legit. It's legit. Their own chops. So like, I didn't have to do anything extra with that. And this day, I think Jaden probably took so many bumps this day. Like I didn't intend him to take as much bumps as he did take, but it's filmed. Yeah, film certain angles and certain spots, and you gotta do it multiple times. And Jaden, like, he was a trooper. He came, and he was the only out of the two students that I've asked. Like, he was the only who came, and yeah, he was a trooper. So uh yeah, he came through, and he that's pretty much like it should have just been it's filmed pretty much. Most of everything that we did in the ring was all him. Like uh I I said I'm so appreciative of that guy. Like, he came in, and he paid his dues. And yeah, that dude was willing to do a lot for the business, just to get far in the business of wrestling.
Guys have come a long way since you first came through that door. You've learned about what it takes to be wrestlers in this ring. But when you leave this ring, you're an extension on this school. You're an extension on me. And so now it's up to you to go out and earn the right to call yourselves professional wrestlers and make me proud. Thank you. You're welcome. All right. Thank you. Let's do some work.
But yeah, that's pretty much the whole film. That whole end right there. I there was one line that I really wanted to put in there, but I guess I forget why I cut it. I think it's just because it just didn't fit right with the cut. Um, but I did have a line just because it felt more like it was like a reflection of myself. Like, because not there's a lot of guys out there, like, you have to have a look. That's one of the things that's one of the things uh that I've been included earlier, where you have to have a look. I didn't have a look. There are guys who are probably as small as I am, or who looks like, not to to down him or anything, because he's doing a good job from what I've seen on social media. Like, like Jaden, like, there's it was a line for Jaden, for Diggy Watts. Um, I've had the line where he goes, where Martin goes, there's some of you guys surprised me more than others. Uh, because guys who look like me a lot of times quit. Guys who look like Jaden quit. And then there's guys who are huge, who we think would make it far, who would who do so good in training where we think they're gonna finish training, but they quit. Um, but that I had that line in there, but I cut it out for I believe just because it didn't flow right with any of the scenes. Um, I had to cut it, but yeah, that line in there was very important. And also to kind of explain, because people will be looking at this and they'll be looking at like let's be real, like the world media, or like when you're watching stuff like image is a legit thing. People's gonna look at you and be like, why did that guy make it? He didn't he Or why do you have him there when the other guys probably look better than he does? Really, I mean, that's the honest truth. Is that is truth. Like that, you do see people who look like me, look like Jaden, uh who look like guys like Cheeseburger for Ring of Honor. They make it. They make it further than some guys who look like Brock Lesnar. Like some guys they quit. I remember the class after me. There was a dude who he like, with his amateur wrestling background. We thought he was gonna make it, and he just stopped showing up. Um, but that line at the end, like one of those lines, like I had to cut, but like but if some people were asking me why he made it through, it's like it happens. It really does happen. And plus, like I said, Jaden's one of those guys. Like, uh, shoot, legit. He came out. He helped us out. He took all the bumps. He had to be one of those guys at the end. Um, but you can see people drop like flies. Like you saw that whole opening shots. Those guys quit. Um, they quit off screen except for the one character, Valentino. Valentino, you know, his character, you saw him quit on screen, but everyone else you just kind of just assume they quit. Um, it happens. It's training. It's pro wrestling. Some quit later on. Like I said, I quit years later on afterwards. And it doesn't. It's not a bad thing. We just have other stuff in life. But yeah, this film, like it helps me learn. The world film is something that I did quit wrestling for to try and pursue. This was a learning experience for me. Oh yeah, but before I go on to that, the dialogue where the character Martin goes and talks about being an extension of the school, being an extension of him. That is true. Um, you don't like if you're gonna go out there, uh, you are pretty much an example of the product that you came from. Um, you want to make that school look good. You want to make your trainer look good. So obviously it's simple. Go out, make your school look good, um, and make your trainer proud. Like don't be an embarrassment to your school. Like I mean, he's your trainer, and saying the word thank you, it's very important. That's one of the things that we learned, and one of the very first few things that we were taught to do is it goes back to kindergarten, is to say thank you whenever something is given to us or something is shared to us. uh Saying thank you after each training session, saying thank you after every match that we have. um I wanted I really wanted to include that there. As you can see, the Nick's character changed throughout the. Well, you don't see it in the actual montage or anything, but you could just tell, like, he went through the training, he didn't quit. Um, his etiquette changed. He's shaking hands. Shaking hands is very important in professional wrestling. And at the end, he shook the hand of Martin. Earlier, you didn't see him shake Chris's hand, or the character Kevin. Um, you didn't see him do that, but uh, in a way, he's learning, he's redeeming himself. Uh, which is what training's all about. You go, you learn, you learn the right way to do things, or the proper way to do things, and uh, you thank everybody. So, um, but yeah, like this whole film, just doing this was a it's a learning experience for me. And, I can't wait to do more. Um, but like I said, it's taught me a lot to learn how to um, it gave me the directing experience that I've didn't think that I ever get to do. uh, I finally wrote a film that you know actually went somewhere. Um, and like I said, it's doing this whole doing all that, like it's not as easy as I thought it was gonna be easy. I mean, like there's just a lot of behind the scenes that go around it. We had some tech issues, we had some casting issues, we had some crew issues. It's hard, but we stuck together. We worked things out, uh, and it all worked. I mean, we finally got it out there. Like we filmed it a year later. I finally released it. Um, you know, I'm pretty proud of it, pretty happy with what I did. I mean, could it have been better? Yeah, could have been better, but uh, it is what it is. It's my first film. If I can go back and do it again someday, I will. I would. There's a lot. There's a lot of stories that I would love to tell, and with what I had, I told I told a part of the story. So only time can tell. Like there's this story can I I wrote the story to be able to uh, if someday the opportunity to expand the story is given, you know, I'll expand it. So like I left it pretty open ended, so it can go either way. There could be you could add more in between of the montage and or you can even add on to what happens after the training session. But right now that whole thing is just, hey, this is part of wrestling. It's not everything in wrestling. Everyone goes through different experiences. Uh, but I just wanted to just to kind of share, the things that I've learned, the things that I've heard, um, and I just kind of wanted to just let people know what see, some things that we've seen. Um, but yeah, so that's Screen Will. Um, yeah, so that's Green Will. If you guys have any questions or you guys want to, if you guys want to say something, feel free in the comments or feel free to message me later on. Uh, you know, uh, I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. Um, and aside from that, I do want to do these things a lot more. I do want to just be able to podcast a little bit more. I want to learn how to do some solo podcasting myself. Like this is probably one of the first ones that I've done solo. Uh, just me. Just because I like to rely on other people to help me out too. But I want to be able to uh, work on my speaking, work on my communication with others. I want to learn to slow down when I speak. I want to be able to pretty much this is to help me also. Um, so I want to do these more to get me out of my comfort zone. Um, but yeah, aside from that, thank you if you're watching or watching later. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna do. I don't know how often I'll do this stuff, but I'm going to do more of this soon. I'll probably bring on. I'll probably bring in some more of the Hmong Wrestling Dynasty uh, group. A lot of them are still training themselves. A lot of them aren't training anymore, but when it comes to the Hmong community, I would love to share more of the Hmong community. When it comes to other communities, I'm as you guys all know, I'm a huge nerd. When it comes to anime or pop culture stuff, um, I'm gonna be doing a lot more stuff within that within that world as well. That's just my community. Like I said, these kind of things help. For me, it's like free therapy. So, um, besides for my wife and some of my friends, I like to be able to get some stuff off my chest, and I feel like this is a good platform to do that, even when people aren't watching or paying attention, which is fine. Like I said, it gives me a chance to just let some things off my chest. So, anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time, thank you.